In this module, you will learn about second division of road signs, that is, warning signs. Warning signs. These are the signs that warn the road users about hazards or potential hazards ahead. There are three types of warning signs. They are advance warning signs, hazard marker signs, diagrammatic warning signs. Let's see the advance warning signs. Advance warning signs are mostly in triangular shape with red border and white background. These are posted in advance before the situation. Traffic signal ahead. This sign warns the drivers that they are approaching a traffic light. This sign is usually used to warn the new traffic signal ahead. Motorists must slow down, maintain lane discipline, position their vehicle according to their direction, and must obey the traffic light. Stop sign ahead. This sign indicates that there is a stop sign ahead. This sign is also used before turns to warn drivers that there is a stop sign ahead. Motorists must stop as the view might be obstructed. Give way sign ahead. This sign indicates that there is a give way sign ahead. This sign is usually used before turns to warn drivers that there is a give way sign ahead. Motorists must slow down and be prepared to give way to the traffic coming from mainstream. Roundabout ahead. This sign indicates the presence of roundabout ahead. Roundabouts are different from an intersection, where the traffic moves around a circular island. It can be found on single or multiple lane roads. This sign is used to warn drivers that they are approaching a roundabout, so they must position their vehicles in the proper lane according to their direction. It is advisable to not overtake after this sign. T intersection ahead. This sign indicates that there is a T-shaped intersection ahead. It is found on two-way traffic. The road you are traveling on terminates to the continues road. Therefore, you must slow down and prepare to stop before turning either to the right or left. Most T-intersection will feature a give sign or stop sign to remind you to give the right of way to cross traffic. Side road ahead. This sign warns the driver that a road is joining from right side ahead. Drivers need to slow down and be aware of the potential hazards. Intersection ahead. This sign warns the road users that your road will intersect with another road. This sign is used on two-way traffic areas. Motorists must slow down and be prepared for the vehicles approaching from both directions. Always avoid overtaking in such areas. Staggered junctions. A staggered junction is a place where two opposite side roads, one on left and the other from right, meet with the main road slightly offset by a short distance. The staggered junction is found on two-way traffic. Motorists must slow down and be more careful while approaching these junctions, as the vehicles might be approaching from left and then right. Junction ahead. Traffic merges from right side. This sign warns the driver that there is a junction ahead where the traffic will merge in your road from the right side. Usually it is found on main roads where the traffic approaches from the side road. In this situation, driver must slow down and be alert for the traffic. Traffic merges from left side. This sign warns drivers that your road is merging with the main road. Drivers must adjust the speed to merge with the mainstream traffic without disturbing them. Two-way traffic. This sign means that there is a two-way traffic on the road. You will find this sign commonly in the beginning of two-way traffic where traffic is separated by only a line rather than a median or barrier. Motorists need to drive carefully, position into the proper lane, and must look for the potential hazards. Two-way traffic crosses one-way road ahead. This sign means that two-way traffic crossing one-way road ahead. This sign is found on one-way roads which warn that this road will terminate to a road where the traffic is moving in both directions, that is, the two-way road. Motorists must be prepared for the traffic approaching from both directions and position properly to turn either left or right. Dual carriage ends. This sign indicates that the dual carriageway will end ahead and will continue as a single carriageway. Dual carriageway is a road on which traffic traveling in opposite directions and are separated by a central median or divider. Single carriageway is a road on which traffic is traveling in opposite directions and is separated by strips or line. Motorists must adjust the speed and position in the proper lane. Curve in the road to the right. This sign warns that there is a curve in the road ahead to the right. This sign is found before the curved roads or hilly areas. Motorists must reduce speed, control the vehicle, and avoid lane changing, overtaking, stopping, parking, and reversing. Motorists are advised to position left lane for better view. If the symbol is reversed, motorists must take precaution for the left curve. Curves or bends. This sign warns drivers that there is a double bend ahead on the road. The symbol indicates the first bend is to the left and then to the right. The symbol must be reversed if the first bend is to the right. It is found in hilly areas or on the road with bends. Motorists need to reduce their speed and must not change lane, overtake, park, stop, or reverse in the bends. Right lane ends ahead. This sign shows that right lane is ending ahead. It is also used on multi-lane roads to warn you that your lane will not continue. Motorists must adjust the speed to change lane towards the open lane without disturbing other traffic. Road narrows on the right side. This sign warns that the road is narrowing from right side, which means that the width of the road will actually be reduced. It is found on the roads where the road shoulder or the pavement is reduced. Motorists are advised to move to the left lane in case they are on the narrowing road or drive with extra care. If the symbol is reversed on the sign, motorists must take precaution for the road to narrow from the left side. Road narrows on both sides. This sign warns the driver that the road is narrowing from both sides, which means that the width of the road is actually reduced. It is found on the roads where the road median and shoulder are reduced and narrowing results in the loss of a lane which presents a hazard. Motorists are advised to adapt to the situation and refrain from driving parallel to the vehicle on their right or left. Left lane closed ahead. This sign warns that the left lane is closed ahead. If motorists are on the left lane, they should move to the right lane. But if they are already in the right lane, then they should be careful of the vehicles joining in their lane from the left. It may be found in temporary situations. If the symbol is reversed on this sign, motorists must take precautions for the right lane closed ahead. Diversion to the opposite carriageway ahead. This sign represents a diversion to the opposite carriageway. This is typically used in temporary situations. It warns the motorist about the diversion of traffic from one carriageway to the other. Motorists must slow down and look for the diversion of the road to pass through safely. No through road. This sign indicates that passage along the street is blocked or prohibited. The no through road sign can be seen at parking areas, construction zones, and industrial areas. The sign is to warn that the road is ending ahead and the motorists must look for an alternative route. U-turn ahead. The sign indicates that there is a U-turn ahead. This sign can be seen at main roads and before traffic signals. If the motorist wishes to make a U-turn, they must position appropriately in the lane. Steep hill upwards ahead. This sign warns that the road ahead is inclining. It can be found in hilly areas. Motorists must avoid overtaking, lane changing, stopping, or parking in such areas. Steep hill downwards ahead. This sign warns that the road is declining ahead. Steep hill downward ahead sign can be seen in hilly areas. It warns the motorists that the road is sloping ahead, so they must avoid overtaking, lane changing, parking, reversing, or stopping. It is recommended to use lower gears to control the speed. Pedestrian crossing ahead. This sign warns the motorists about the pedestrian crossing ahead. It can be seen both at main roads as well as internal roads. The motorist must reduce the speed and give way to the pedestrian first. Moreover, avoid overtaking, overspeeding, and lane changing in such areas. Children. This sign warns about children in the surroundings. It can be commonly seen near schools, residential areas, parks, and playgrounds. This sign indicates that children can be present in the nearby areas. Therefore, motorists must slow down their speed and take the necessary precautions. Bicycles crossing ahead. This sign warns the motorists that there is a bicycle crossing ahead. They are advised to reduce the speed and watch out for cyclists who might be crossing on their track ahead. If there are cyclists, motorists must stop the vehicles and give way to the cyclists crossing the road. Animals. A sign with a picture of an animal, such as camel, warns drivers that animals may be on the road. The symbol on these signs may also represent sheep or goats. It can be seen near animal farms, outside city limits, or mountain areas. Motorists must slow down when they see these signs and watch out for animals on the road. Leave as much space as possible to allow for their unexpected movements. Never use the horn around animals. It may frighten them and could cause them to run and cause a crash. Road works ahead. This sign warns the road users to be cautious as road work is underway. The sign is in yellow color that warns for hazards and is used in temporary situations. They are often encountered where road maintenance or construction work is being carried out. Drivers must be prepared for changed road conditions. They must reduce their speed, refrain from sounding horn, keep safe distance from the workers, barricades and traffic cones, and do not overtake in such areas. Maximum headroom at hazard ahead. This sign means maximum height limit ahead. This sign can be mostly seen before the tunnels, across the bridges and basement parking. It warns that vehicles above mentioned height are not allowed to enter. They may use other alternative route. Tunnel. This sign warns the road users that there is a tunnel ahead. Motorists must take certain actions before entering the tunnel, such as check the height and width limits, drive in open lanes indicated with green lights, use dipped lights are on for better visibility, maintain speed limit permitted for tunnel, avoid overtaking, parking, stopping, reversing and sounding horn inside the tunnel. Moreover, pedestrian, cyclists and the vehicle carrying explosive materials are not allowed to use the tunnel. Low-flying aircraft. It warns motorists that an aircraft might be flying at a lower altitude. This sign with an aircraft symbol can be seen near airports. Motorists must not get distracted with the sight and sound. Stopping and photography is prohibited in this area. Opening bridge ahead. This sign warns of a bridge which opens at intervals. There will be qualification plate attached to it for the timings. It is posted at or before the foot of the bridge. Motorists will be informed in advance through the information sign if that bridge is closed for traffic. Quayside or riverbank. Quayside or riverbank sign warns drivers that there is a riverbank ahead or the area where the road is terminating into the water source. This sign can be seen near creek area or riverbed. Motorists should avoid last-minute braking in these areas as the surface might be slippery due to the moist. If parking is permitted, only park parallel to the quayside or riverbank. Risk of falling rocks. The sign alerts the driver that there is a risk of falling objects, mainly rocks. It can be seen in hilly areas or construction sites. Motorists should maintain safe distance and be cautious while driving in such areas. They should also avoid parking nearby. High voltage overhead. This sign alerts motorists about the high voltage cables running overhead on the road. Motorists must check the height limits, avoid parking or stopping, and loading or unloading their vehicles in such areas. Speed hump. This sign is used to warn the presence of a speed hump. It is used to force the motorist to control the speed of vehicles as there might be hazards like roundabout, pedestrian crossing, or junctions. It is commonly found near residential, school, and parks areas. Motorists need to slow down and cross the speed hump slowly. Uneven road. Roads are often uneven in certain areas. This sign is to warn motorists that the road surface is uneven. Motorists must slow down and avoid lane changing and overtaking. Other danger ahead. This sign warns the motorists of other dangers ahead. Motorists may encounter different types of hazards that will be defined on attached supplementary sign, such as high-voltage cables, construction areas, sharp turns, temporary humps, pedestrians, or animals. Motorists must reduce their speed in such areas and be alert for the hazards. Loose chipping. This sign warns of loose chippings, such as sand or gravel. This sign is typically found on temporary roads. Motorists must reduce their speed well in advance because loose chippings might fly and hit pedestrians, other vehicles, or nearby property. Avoid hard braking to prevent skidding and losing control over the vehicle. Moreover, the traction might reduce in such areas, so maintain a safe distance from the vehicle in front. Slippery road. This sign warns the motorists that the road is slippery ahead. It can be seen at hilly or creek areas. Motorists must reduce speed and avoid hard braking or sudden swerving. Moreover, the vehicle can become unstable, so maintain a safe space around the vehicle. Motorcyclists must take extra care because they are on two wheels. Beware edge way soft. This sign warns the motorists that materials of the shoulders or verges are softer than they would be reasonably expected and may be a hazard to anyone wishing to pull off the roadway. It is located on the right side of the roadway at a distance in advance of the soft surface. Motorists need to avoid driving in this area, and if it cannot be avoided due to an emergency, take care to not get stuck. Tram crossing ahead. This sign warns the road users that there is a tram route ahead and that tram may cross from right to left or left to right. The qualification plate below the sign indicates further information like tram ahead, or distance to the tram, or do not stop on tracks. This sign is found in the areas where tram is operating. Tram or railway crossing to the right. This sign warns the motorists that if they intend to turn right, they will cross a tram route. A supplementary plate may be attached below the sign indicating the distance to the tram crossing. Motorists need to be cautious while crossing the tram track. If the symbol is reversed on the sign, motorists must take precaution for the tram or railway crossing to the left. Now you will learn about the second type of warning sign, that is, hazard marker signs. The hazard marker signs identify physical hazard, such as bridge structure, guardrails, or traffic islands. At nighttime, these signs reflect due to vehicle headlight. Hazard plate. These hazard plate signs are used to identify the bridge structures and guardrails. These signs can be found on major roads to alert the motorists to position their vehicle appropriately on the road. Hazard marker. This sign is used to divert the traffic to pass either side from traffic island. Hazard marker sign can be found at junctions, traffic signals, service roads, and beginning of the slip lanes. Single chevron right. Single chevron right sign indicates a change in direction to the right. This marker is posted on rail guards and used at intervals to indicate the sharpness of curve. This sign is also used at entry and exit ramps on major roads. If the symbol is reversed, it indicates a change in direction to the left. Multiple chevron right. This is a multiple chevron to right, which alerts motorists to turn right. It is commonly found on roads where there is a sharp deviation of route to the right. If the symbol is reversed, it indicates a sharp deviation of route to the left. T-junction chevron. This sign alerts the motorists to change the direction of the vehicle either to the right or left. It is found at T-junction. Single tram or railway line crossing over road. This sign alerts that a single tram or railway line crossing over the road. Motorists must be careful while crossing the tram track. Two or more tram or railway line crossing. This sign alerts that two or more tram lines are crossing over the road. Now you will learn about the third and last type of warning sign, that is, diagrammatic warning signs. Diagrammatic warning signs are used where the triangular advance warning sign does not allow sufficient space for a picture. or are not big enough to draw attention to the hazard ahead. These signs help the motorists to position the vehicle appropriately well in advance. These are mainly used on high-speed roads. Right lane closure ahead. This sign depicts that the right road is closing ahead. Motorists must get prepared to enter the open lane. Additional lane added. This sign warns the motorists that an additional lane will be added ahead. 5 lanes merging to 4. This sign is to warn the motorists that the 5 lanes are now merging into 4 lanes. The motorist in the merging lanes must be careful as both lanes have equal allowance. Lane use controlled. Trucks not permitted. This diagrammatic sign warns the heavy vehicle drivers that they are restricted from using the leftmost lanes. Lane use controlled. Directional restriction. This sign warns the motorists that the leftmost lane use is controlled. Motorists in that lane must turn left ahead. Beginning or end of median. Beginning of median. This sign warns the motorist that median is beginning in the roadway ahead. Motorists must be careful with the central divider or median. End of median. This sign warns the motorist that the central reservation of median is ending ahead. Motorists must be careful in this situation. Joining lane. Both these signs warn the motorists that a lane is joining ahead. It can be from right or left as shown on the sign. Sharp curve lanes ahead. These diagrammatic warning signs warn the motorists on major road about the sharp curve lanes ahead. Motorists are advised to use the designated lane to complete the turn in a safe and controlled manner. Tram route in both directions. This sign warns pedestrians that they are about to cross a tram track. They must look in both directions, to right and left, to ensure that no tram is approaching before crossing the tram route. Tram route in single direction. This sign warns pedestrians that they are about to cross a tram track which is traveling in a single loop. The indicated arrows shows the direction of travel, so pedestrians must ensure that no tram is approaching before crossing the tram route.